Hey, this is Kerry with Dynamic Motorcycle Accessories. Today I'm going to show you the install of our luggage rack and backrest and mounting plates on a Multistrada 1200. So you'll get 4 bolts, washers, and nuts with your backrest. The luggage rack or the mounting plates will come with 4 spacers and 4 30mm M6 bolts. If you're installing a luggage rack, it's pretty basic. If there are caps covering your bolt holes, pop those caps off. We'll just set our spacers over the holes. Grab our bolts. So just a couple tips. If you have a center stand and you can put the bike on a center stand, it will make the bike flatter and keep spacers from trying to slide off the bike. Even on a center stand, if you put a little block under the front wheel, it'll help level things out. If you do not have a center stand, you can actually use a little block of wood under your kickstand to bring the bike in a little more vertical position. If you do that, be really careful though that you don't bring it up so high that it could tip over. So we don't expect any responsibility for that. So we'll set the rack over the spacers, drop our bolts through, but we'll apply Loctite first. Then we'll just tighten them all down, and that's ready. This is with the Ducati monokey mounting hardware installed on it, to where a top case can be attached. The backrest can be installed or removed while the hardware is still on it, but the backrest cannot be used at the same time as the top case. If you were going to attach a backrest to it, we would attach the backrest first. It can be done this way, but it's a little easier to attach the backrest first. You can leave your backrest a little bit loose if you would like, that you can slide it back and forth a little bit. After the rack's on the bike, you can kind of put it in a position that you like and then continue to tighten it down the rest of the way. So after the backrest is bolted on, spacers are on the bike, set the whole thing over the spacers. And applying Loctite first. Get those started by hand. Handy tool to have, this little ratchet wrench. You can get them at Harbor Freight for just a few bucks. With the Allen wrench, makes it a lot easier to get in underneath the backrest to tighten these bolts down. Also, if you need to tighten these bolts after you put it in position, you can put a wrench underneath and have good access to the bolts under the backrest with a wrench like this. So after that's tightened down securely, you could have the passenger sit on the seat, move the backrest to where you want it, and tighten that down, and then you're ready to ride. So attaching the backrest to the mounting plates, if you set the mounting plates out in the position that they go, set the backrest on top, make sure that that is right. Grab one of the mounting plates, with the backrest just to make sure you keep the orientation correct. Go ahead and slide your bolts through. Set the mounting plate back on. Washers. Next bolts through. And then just pull this plate the same way, just straight up. Set it over the bolts. Then before you get these lock nuts tightened all the way down, you can just double check on the bike just to make sure that you have the mounting plates in the correct orientation. So we'll just set this over top. Check that our bolt holes line up with the bolt holes on the bike. And then we'll go ahead, tighten these down, and then bolt this to the bike. So take this, set it over top of our spacers. Just being careful not to move them around too much. I'll try to get the bolts through the spacers just to help hold the spacers in place before I try to get the bolts into the bolt holes down below. So now that I've got all my spacers held in place, I can move this around a little, get these bolts started into the holes. And just make sure you apply Loctite first. Just tighten them the rest of the way down. Okay, and then just make sure those are nice and secure and you're ready to go. So if you have your passengers sit on here, you could have left these a little bit loose to kind of find a good position, or if your passenger sits on there, feels like they need it moved, just put a wrench underneath, loosen those up, slide it to a good position, and then tighten it back down, and you're good to go.